For more on this, I'm now joined in the studio by Hervé Théry, Director of Research at CREDA and former head of the International Advisory Group for the G7 Amazon Conservation Programme. Hello, thank you very much for your time. First of all, what's your reaction to this announcement, this $20 million fund to help Amazon countries combat these fires?
I have mixed sentiment, mixed feelings, because it's a very good thing in itself. But there's also a note of internalization of the Amazon, which is anathema for Brazilians. They have very strong feeling, a strong fear of that happening. So it will be necessary to explain, to make it more palatable to them. But it's probably a solution. The good thing, it will be done by the 9 countries and not only Brazil. So it may dilute a bit the risk for the sovereignty of Brazil. But the people who are more afraid of internalization, more resistant to that, are the military. And President Bolsonaro comes from that corporation. So it will be a bit difficult, even so, because there are strong feeling between the two presidents. There have been exchange of insults. So we'll have a very serious crisis at the moment, not only fire, but also geopolitics and diplomatic.
Now, as we've been reporting, there's been a huge spike in the number of fires in Brazil and particularly in the Amazon. But how would you say generally the situation has evolved under Jair Bolsonaro? Is it a lot worse than before?
It is a lot worse. The last month is 238% more than last year. But it's even worse because it's the reversal of a trend. In the last 20 years, it had been a strong decreasing of deforestation. It's starting around 3,000 square kilometers per year, and it came down to 5,000, which is a good thing, thanks to an initiative taken by the G7 in the 90s. So 10 years of passionate work with money from the G7 have made it possible to decrease quite constantly and strongly deforestation. And this year is a reverse of that trend and a strong augmentation of deforestation.
So what do you make of the fact that Norway and Germany have withdrawn funding that is crucial to helping the Amazon? Do you think that's really the way forward in terms of putting more pressure on Jair Bolsonaro or not effective?
It's difficult to know because it was in the contract. The amount of money liberated each year depended on the rate of deforestation. There was every right to say, no, we won't put money this year because deforestation has increased. The governor of the Amazonas already said he doesn't know what to do without that money. So local authorities are very much preoccupied because the state of Amazonas is a green state and wanted really to decrease deforestation. Other states have different politics, different policies. It's a federal state. So it's different. There is no one feeling in Brazil, one government, and the president doesn't make everything. So probably there will be strong tensions inside Brazil, between Brazil and France, between the G7. So if we have the diplomats we'll have a full plate in those days.
And the Amazon, of course, isn't just important in terms of biodiversity and combating climate change, but also the indigenous population there, right?
You're quite right. It has over 1 million people, Indian people in Brazil, most of them living in the Amazon, and they need big space because they are nomadic. Some of them are changing places quite often. So it's one consideration. But we must remember that the Brazilian Amazon is bigger than the European Union. But only 2/3 of the Amazon, or the whole of the Amazon, is much, much bigger than Europe. It has different climates, different vegetation, different people, and there is room for everyone. So it would be possible to have big Indian reservation and natural reserves and soybean and whatever. But it's a strong confrontation between conflicting interests, which make it a very difficult problem to solve.
So what do you think needs to be done to keep it in the headlines, so to speak? Because, of course, an issue like this gets a lot of visibility when there's a G7 and we see all these world leaders gathered talking about it. But what do we need to do to keep addressing this issue?
I would say that on top of my 40 years experience, I can do a very good answer, I don't know. Because it's a very diverse situation. I don't think keeping all the time in the media is possible. Maybe a little lower tone would be good to have. There are a lot of very good experimentation already done on reforestation, on preserving the region, keeping the people inside. A lot of things have to be tried reasonably, calmly. So we cannot forget Amazon. Amazon won't be forgotten because there are other forests in the world who have been disforested without anybody noticing. In the Congo, in Indonesia, other places. When you say Amazon, the people are interested. Maybe a little calmer time would be good, and to diffuse that situation would be a good idea.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed for your time and your analysis, Hervé Théry. Thank you very much.